State Senator Shevrin Jones has been front and center on so many ways in this debate, right there joining us live today. Senator, great to have you.
Thank you, Glenda, for having me.
So I want to start with you, and I so appreciate your whole position in this because you're one of those people that could potentially take this very personally. But as a state senator, you were there debating the laws that the governor's referencing that make these crosswalks outlawed. That law is SB 1662. You debated it on the floor. Does the law outlaw these crosswalks?
It does not, Glenda. And that's the unfortunate part of it because SB 1662 did not even ban rainbow crosswalks. What 1662 did, it simply gave the Florida Department of Transportation new power to withhold state transportation funds if they did not follow the procedures when it comes to devices. The law in which the governor is referencing says nothing about crosswalks. As a matter of fact, it has been on the books for almost a decade. So the fact that FDOT is weaponizing SB 1662 to enforce its own memo that went out where they're talking about this enforcement of now using surface art is absolutely false because the law that we passed it was bipartisan in how we passed it because if we would have known that this was banning rainbow crosswalks or any type of art because I just saw what they did with University of Central Florida this South Florida this morning, we wouldn't have voted for it and there would have been a greater debate on 1662.
So the memo that you referenced, this was a Department of Transportation memo. This is what went out, I think it was at the end of June, to every
Right,
city that has to remove this. And it referenced all crosswalks. I know there are, like St. Pete has swans
right.
in their crosswalks. Those have to go. I know there was a lot of news about police, law enforcement supporting artwork that also has to go. So, obviously it has something to do with the messages because in that memo, they talk about Secretary Perdue at DOT talks about social, political, and what they call ideological messages in the images that are outlawed. Who, I guess, in a legal sense, who decides what's politics and ideology? Is that a
Well,
valid question?
I think it's a valid question. I'm no attorney, but I can tell you that all of this is political and what we're talking about right now, because a lot of these crosswalks have been in existence for quite some time, and they have been done under Republican leaders and leadership, even when Governor Scott was in office. So, and the truth be told, Glenda, isn't about just paint on a road. It's about erasure. It's about control. It's about silencing of a community. Florida Department of Transportation and what they're doing, ordering cities like Delray Beach and Key West to erase these rainbow crosswalks, which have shown, by mind you, no statistical data that is unsafe. As a matter of fact, it's the absolute opposite. And so, I think the administration need to be honest with Floridians and be clear that this is politics, have nothing to do with ideology or anything in which they're trying to say.
So in the challenge the narrative category, which is what we kind of do here, is this really a big deal for a community who could maybe put up flags somewhere if they want or do mural art somewhere else? I mean, is picking this fight, which the state has done clearly, over
Mhm.
the crosswalks, be them rainbow or otherwise, is this really a fight to pick?
You know what, Glenn? I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah, yes, this is about rainbow crosswalks or any other type of crosswalks in which the governor and his administration is trying to frame. But to be honest, it's about fascism on the march. I mean, authoritarianism doesn't start with big things. It starts with testing grounds, and Florida consistently has been the testing ground for a lot of this stuff. Whether it's schools, libraries, now it's streets, and now to see how much erasure people will absolutely accept. Now, what we're seeing in this state is where they're using bureaucracy to erase visibility. They're trying to punish differences and intimidate communities. And that's not democracy. That's absolute authoritarianism. And I'll end with this: if Floridians don't push back now, today's crosswalks fight becomes tomorrow's fight over speech, classrooms, and culture on a very larger scale in which this state has already started for the past 4 years that you, Glenda, have reported on and that I have and will continue to fight for.
I pulled the petition, this is Delray Beach. It's very similar to, if not identical to, the Key West petition they're going to be taking in front of DOT this week. Fort Lauderdale says it will be fighting also. In this, it's a long petition. It's 25 pages. They ran out of alphabet letters and stipulating the different reasons why this should be perfectly lawful. And I wonder if this case is made, might at very least these crosswalks be, of all, of all art, be grandfathered in if they're already there.
Well, I think the unfortunate part about all of this, Glenda, is the fact that the Department of Transportation and the governor's office, they're doing this outside of the legislative session. Because I can guarantee you that if this was happening while the legislative session was going on, I'm sure there are even some of my Republican colleagues of roads that's being painted over in their communities that they would absolutely not agree with. So the fact that the governor, just same thing he did with Alligator Alcatraz and the detention camp, and the same thing they're doing here in utilizing agencies to do things outside of the legislative process, is the same old with the governor doing what he wants to do and having his administration follow behind this path of not doing what Floridians need right now. Imagine this, Glenna. These cities are now having to sue the state when they should be absolutely doing what they can and possibly do to take care of the individuals within their community. But they can't even do that. Why? Because we have to continue to fight culture wars that's not putting food on people's tables, not putting clothes on people's back, and is surely not helping the over millions of people here within this state.
Some consequential hearings coming up this week. I know you'll
Yes.
be on that. We'll talk to you about all of that as well coming up. State Senator Shevrin Jones, always great to have you on the program.
Thanks, Glenna.